Oregon has had a busy week with some big name visitors on campus. So we're talking Ducks recruiting in this one. And I got Oregon recruiting insider Justin Hopkins on to take us behind the scenes of some of these spring visits that have been very important. But first, Duck fans, do me a favor right now. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We're trying to grow this page and we want you to be a part of it. So go ahead, hit subscribe for me, please. All right. Let's bring on Justin Hopkins from Scoop Duck, and now we're talking elite recruits on campus. We'll start right here at the top with Noah Mikhail, one of the top linebackers in America, actually the number 6 ranked linebacker out of Laverne, California. And I see USC is trending along with Washington and Alabama on his recruiting prediction machine, but did Oregon make up some ground here with this recent visit?
Yeah, absolutely. I was able to speak with Mikhail, and this is the second visit he's taken in the 2024 calendar year. So, clearly there's a lot of interest. As we know, Dan Lanning has done a tremendous job cleaning up on the defensive talent out west, basically since his arrival, and last year they did so at linebacker. This is another big, important class for them to sign. Not necessarily a huge class at linebacker, but guys that are, a little bit more elite and ready to contribute. I know Mikhail's at the top of the list. He told me that the visit was great. He just continues to build that relationship with Lanning. And he mentioned this visit was more so about them talking about, how he fits in with their defense and how they would use him. And, as far as he was concerned, it was a pretty eye-opening visit, at least from that standpoint.
Yeah, not the first time Mikhail was on campus, but it was the first time offensive tackle Ziyare Addison from Tampa, Florida was on campus. He goes 6'4", 6'5", 280, really highly sought-after offensive tackle in the top 200. Now, FSU with a slight lead over Oregon on the RPM, but that's not bad considering this is the first time he's been on campus, and he's not making a decision until August. So my question to you is, how do the Ducks remain in this one until the end? It's turning time, and I don't want you to miss any of the action for March Madness, so here's what we're going to do to watch all the games. Prime Video is streaming every tournament game live with a subscription to either Paramount or Max, and, lots of these games are on while we're at work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to log on, sneak in these games while you're on the clock, and Prime Video has you covered. Watch every game live on your phone, on your laptop, or relax and watch it at home on Prime Video with a subscription. It's March. It's madness, and you can stream it all on Prime Video.
Yeah, this is a foundation laying visit, right? Get him on campus, let him see what you're about, and make sure that you remain a school that he's interested in. And I did talk to Addison briefly about the visit. Of course, he used eye-opening and all the adjectives you would expect from an Oregon visit. But he said really his chance to kind of connect with the staff and see how they plan to develop him. How well their offensive line performed last year, only giving up 5 sacks with Bo Nix in that line that they had. Those were all some of the things that he mentioned. So, as far as Addison's concerned in Oregon, this is that first visit he's talking about already. His official visit in June is lined up to visit Oregon. Again, if he's going to go into the fall, you're probably going to need to get him back on campus later this fall. But those are all things that you continue to work on. This was at least the first step for Oregon. And I think they are, he told me, he goes, they're definitely not outside my top 3 right now.
All right. Yeah, I like that. A foundational visit, because you're right. Like, if this is a singular visit, there's really nothing left to this recruitment. But if he continues to take these visits, then you look back on this one and say, oh, wow, he was on campus all the way back in March. So we'll see. Now, we're going to move on to DB Dorian Brew, and he's been on campus before. He's from Conroe, Texas. And at one point, still is a heavy lean to Ohio State on the recruiting prediction machine, but there's a little confusion. He was set to commit in January, actually January 24th. He postponed that decision, and now it looks like Texas, LSU, Oregon, and USC are making a move. Do you think the Ducks can capitalize, or do you still kind of lean Ohio State on this one?
Yeah, I think I would still lean Ohio State's direction. And the key to this recruitment is, will he make a commitment sooner than later? And then the second part of that equation is, if he does make a commitment, as we've started to see a new trend, will he keep taking more visits? Because we've seen that kind of become a new trend. And I don't blame it with all this, all the coaching movement and stuff going on. I don't blame these kids for doing that. So I think for Oregon, you really just kind of wanted to get your foot in the door, if you will, and stay on his mind. I think Oregon did a great job. I was able to speak to sources. I haven't been able to speak to Brew directly yet, but sources at Oregon did say it went well and everything. It was very receptive. and they feel like they're in the game. But of course, we just kind of have to see how this recruitment will play out over the next month or so.
Sure. All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. Now, another first visit, and that was from Maryland safety Kianoa Winston. Will he be back, and is this a DB that Duck fans need to know?
Yeah, he just recently, dropped a top group of schools, and Oregon was among it, right along with this visit. After he got home, I think he got home Monday or whatever the case was, he announced an official visit with Oregon in June. So that certainly looks like they're going to be in line for an official visit, and they're in there. I did get a chance to talk to Winston. Once again, use the eye-opening type of adjectives, just like Addison did. Really receptive to Coach Hampton, the safety secondary coach at Oregon, and just kind of how they use their DBs. And not to mention that there is a need for safety in this cycle and an opening for somebody there. So I think all those things lined up well for Oregon. I wouldn't dare say that they lead or anything like this after the first visit, but getting him back on campus and continuing to build that relationship, I definitely think Duck fans need to watch this one for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, those were some of the big names that I wanted to talk to you about that have been on campus recently. And there's one more recruit that I want to address. There were some rumors that Nizer White, the linebacker out of California, was going to announce in March. Now, March is pretty much come and gone. He doesn't have a decision date. If he did announce in March, I thought it was going to be Oregon. Now, though, visits are set to Tennessee and Texas. Do you still consider Oregon to be a good spot here?
Yeah, I think this is one that the Ducks lead. Ultimately, you just really don't need to fumble this one up, and you're probably going to be okay. I think Oregon's kind of poised for maybe making a bit of a run either just before the spring game, which is in late April, or right around it or right after. And I think Nizer White's one of those guys that I'm really watching, maybe saying, hey, look, I'm going to take these final visits to Tennessee and Texas just to make sure, that Oregon's the place, or I don't, want to go back somewhere else. But I would kind of look for his recruitment maybe about a month out from now to maybe wind down. And unless something changes drastically, I still like my pick for Oregon. I still believe that it's Oregon, and I think everybody's chasing the Ducks right now.
Okay, good. Fair enough. Just want to check in on that. Now, this weekend, there's going to be no major visits because the Ducks are on spring break. But after that, it'll be a exciting run to the spring game where we'll see if the Ducks can nab some quacks. I think they might. Justin Hopkins, we'll check back with you in a week or so. Appreciate you dropping by the Inside Scoop today.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed that, go check out the hundreds of videos that we have on this channel, and also do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel.